Okay, so today we are getting right into the hardware. We're doing a deep dive on the Just Add Power VBS-HDIP-518AVP 3G plus AVP receiver.
It is definitely a mouthful of a model number, but if you break it down into the 3G and AVP parts, it tells you exactly where this fits in.
Right. Our mission today is to explore how high-end video distribution actually works in the custom installation world. Because looking at the specs from HDTV Supply, it's clear we're moving way beyond just simple HDMI cables.
Oh, absolutely. We are squarely in the realm of, well, high bandwidth AV over IP here. This isn't a standard consumer HDMI splitter. This is the hardware that solves those massive headaches when you want 4K video on dozens of screens in sports bars or luxury homes, and you need them perfectly synced.
That magic trick of having the same game on 20 TVs with zero delay. And the whole philosophy here seems to be ditching the physical matrix switch entirely.
That's the core of it. With a traditional matrix, you have a fixed number of inputs and outputs. Once you fill the chassis, you're done.
Which is incredibly frustrating and expensive to upgrade.
Exactly. But Just Add Power encapsulates that HDMI stream into IP packets, multicast usually. So suddenly your standard managed gigabit network switch becomes the actual backbone of your video system.
So your only real limit is how many ports you have on your network switch. That brings us to the 3G part of the name, right? Because the spec sheet highlights a built-in 4K scaler.
It does, and that scaler is a critical piece of the puzzle.
But let me play devil's advocate for a second. Every modern 4K TV you buy has an internal upscaler. Why am I paying for extra silicon in this receiver to do a job my TV already does?
That is the exact right question to ask. First, if you rely on the TV's scaler, you introduce significant input lag. This receiver locks latency at roughly 23 milliseconds.
Which is basically instant to the human eye, vital for live sports or gaming.
Right, you do not want lag. But the real value of the scaler is architectural. It handles the lowest common denominator problem locally.
Wait, you mean that Eat 8 handshake nightmare where one old TV completely ruins the resolution for the entire house?
You know the pain. Yeah, if you have 10 screens and just one is an older 1080p display, a traditional source might downgrade the whole stream to 1080p just to satisfy that one screen.
Completely defeating the purpose of buying 4K screens for all the other rooms.
Exactly. But the 518 AVP scales at the receiver end. Your network carries a pristine 4K signal everywhere, and this specific box downscales it to 1080p just for that legacy screen.
Without punishing the rest of the system, that is a massive troubleshooter. Okay, let's move on to the AVP designation. Audio Video Pro, right? What makes this Pro?
This is a huge differentiator. The Pro models create a dedicated stereo downmix directly from the digital audio stream.
Oh, so it actually processes the audio right out of the HDMI.
It does. Imagine sending a Dolby Atmos 5.1 signal to your main theater zone. You definitely want that surround sound there, but you also want that exact same game feed in the kitchen, which only has a basic stereo soundbar.
Usually you'd lose the dialogue channel entirely or have to buy a separate audio processor just to downmix that feed.
Right. But this unit pulls the stereo analog audio out via variable 3.5mm port for that kitchen zone, while the digital stream keeps the surround data intact for the theater.
Saving you from buying an extra downmix box. Incredibly smart. The spec sheet also mentions image pop. This basically looks like an onboard overlay engine.
It is. It supports full-color images with alpha channel transparency. In a commercial setting, you can literally overlay a company logo directly onto the video feed.
All without needing a completely separate digital signage player hooked up.
Exactly. And for commercial setups, it handles the geometry for video walls. Portrait displays, flip displays, it does the math to align the image perfectly across monitor bezels so you get no more picture tearing.
Seeing this feature set the variable audio, the overlay engines, it becomes clear why the buying experience is so guarded. You can't just go to the website and click Add to Cart.
No, you can't. HDTV Supply notes that Just Add Power protects their authorized dealer channel. You literally have to log in or call 833 Wolfpack just to get pricing.
Which ensures the buyer actually understands what they are looking at.
Precisely. Because this is a receiver only, it does nothing if you don't also buy the matching transmitter and configure the switch correctly.
So for you listening, what does this actually mean for video distribution? We're essentially decoupling the source device from the room. It transforms standard network cabling into a high-performance 4K video system.
Completely. It makes the physical location of your cable box totally irrelevant. If your Ethernet reaches a room, your video reaches that room perfectly scaled.
It's the hardware that makes the magic of multi-room video possible. But it leaves me with a provocative thought for you to chew on. If video distribution is moving entirely to Ethernet networks, are we rapidly approaching a future where the physical location of your video source becomes completely irrelevant?
It certainly seems that way.
Imagine a house with no consoles or media players in the living areas at all, just screens connecting instantly to a hub hidden in a closet. Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.